say them one at a time if you want. So name where you're from.
George Poitras, former chief of the Mikisew Cree First Nation, which is the Port Chippewa, which is downstream from Alberta's tar sands. Why am I here? To take part in the rally and risk being arrested, which happened. Was arrested, given a ticket, given a notice not to show up anywhere near Parliament Hill for a year, and our tickets were at $65. It was essentially a trespassing ticket.
Well, and what is it about the tar sands that made you willing to risk arrest today and go through this act?
Yeah. How much time do we have?
Maybe a minute, a couple minutes.
I mean, we live directly in the tar sands. We're directly impacted from the tar sands. It's been in operation for 40 years. Our people have observed a lot of issues related to water quality, water quantity, contamination of the Athabasca River, tailings ponds issues, not to mention greenhouse gas emissions, global warming, which the tar sands all contribute greatly to. More critically to us recently is the observation of rare and aggressive cancers, which was proven by an Alberta Cancer Board study 2 years ago. So our people are succumbing to these rare and aggressive cancers, which statistically are proven to be linked to petroleum products. And so, I mean, that's what our concern is.
And what do you hope is going to come out of today? Like, what do you hope?
Well, I think if nothing else, a lot of generation of information and awareness to the public at large. We're here resisting the approval of the Keystone XL pipeline, which will be President Barack Obama's decision in the next couple of months, because to us, the approval of the Keystone XL pipeline reflects an expansion of the tar sands. And right now, because we've proven that the industry is like totally unregulated, very weak standards, that they've been contaminating for 40 years very, very badly, and there's so much need and rationale and logic and why the Keystone XL pipeline should not be approved. And until many of the issues and concerns are mitigated by the regulators, we think a moratorium on the approval of this pipeline is what's really needed.
And for people that are watching this, what do you want them to take away from this? What kind of actions would you like to see them take?
Well, hopefully a lot of people, I mean, I'm sure with the DC actions last month and earlier this month, which were for 2 weeks as opposed to the one-day rally here on Parliament Hill today, generated so much international awareness. And so similarly with this rally is what I hope is that many more people are informed about the tar sands, about the Keystone XL pipeline, about other initiatives that would essentially mean expansion of the tar sands, that really what's needed right now is a pause and a slowdown from this unfettered pace of tar sands development.
Cheers. Is there anything else you want to say, or anything else you'd like to get, any other message you'd like to get out there?
I can't think beyond your questions.
No, that's great. That was perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
George, can I ask you just a quick one?
Sure.
I'm with CKT in Montreal.
Okay.
And actually I've been trying to interview you for a long time, so I'm glad you're a hard guy to get a hold of. In response to people who say that, well, you know, oil, it may not be the greatest, but we need it to fuel our economy and we need the jobs. What do you say to that? You say the pipeline's going to, the Keystone XL pipeline is going to provide thousands of jobs, and then there's the proposed Enbridge pipeline out to the west coast, and people say, well, oil is just a reality, so what do we do without the oil?
Yeah, I don't think oil is a reality. I mean, I think we need to get beyond our dependence on this fossil fuel regime, look at alternative types of energy. Yes, the Keystone XL pipeline potentially will create many jobs, but at the same time, policymakers and anybody who has influence to make any kind of decisions that reflect expansion of the tar sands should really think about many of the costs associated with those types of decisions, including the Keystone XL pipeline, especially in a world that's struggling with challenges of global warming, climate change. I mean, it's really, really not the route to be going.
And for First Nations communities specifically, some of whom are in need of economic development, and they are promised jobs and economic opportunities.
Yeah.
Those who live in the tar sands region, or perhaps those who live along the pipeline, proposed pipeline routes.
Yeah.
From a First Nations perspective, are there not some possible economic opportunities?
Absolutely. I mean, there are economic opportunities, and as we heard from Chief Thomas this morning from BC, it's not all about money, and it's not all about relying on governments and oil companies or pipeline companies giving us handouts. And similarly with First Nations, we have to make a decision in terms of how, by virtue of collaborating with these types of industries, how are we actually contributing to our own demise, whether it's contaminating our rivers, poisoning our people with cancers that are rare and aggressive, or contributing to the infringements and breaches of our own constitutionally protected treaty rights. Whether we're engaged in economic development, we too have, like what we're suggesting to the oil industry, that we need to look beyond this fossil fuel regime, that we need to as well. If we're wanting to invest in economic development, we should be looking at clean energy as well.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, George. I appreciate
No problem.
it.